Yo, what is up, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG. In today's video, guys, what I have for you, I'm going to be showing you the Malamar deck that I used this past weekend in a League Challenge and a League Cup. Now, if you guys aren't interested in what I'm going to be talking about over the next couple of minutes, you can reference the description down below if you guys want to see the deck list, if that's what you're more interested in. Also, down there is a link to my second channel. That's where I post gaming videos and such, if that's something that interests you guys. But anyway, this deck honestly was a last-minute decision. I was honestly testing and just pondering around with a Lost March variant or just straight Lost March, and for some reason, I don't know why, I just couldn't commit to the deck. It just was something about that, I just couldn't commit to it. And so I had a list put together, I was building a list, and I was talking with a buddy, and he made some suggestions on some stuff I should swap out and everything, since he's been like playing Malamar for a good while now. And he played Ultra Necrozma, the Ultra Necrozma variant, and he was just like, you should try this out. And so I did, and boom, I ended up actually really liking the list. At the League Challenge, I ended up winning. I faced off against, oh god, I'm trying to remember my matchup. I think, yeah, round one I faced off against a Quag, and then I faced off against a UltraBox. And I can't remember for the life of me the rest of the matches I faced off against. Yeah, I can't remember for the life of me. Oh yeah, I played against my buddy, actually, his Ultra Necrozma list, I believe. And yeah, that's the only three I can remember. But I ended up going 3-0-1. I tied with the Quag. I had a huge comeback in that first match, and I was able to bring it back to a tie. So yeah, ended up taking first place. Now the League Cup, unfortunately, was a little less lucky. I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys the Pokemon here real quick while I am talking here. So we got 4 Malamar, obviously with Psychic Recharge. This is just going to be sitting on your bench. Also, I apologize for the glare. I don't really have a great lighting source yet. Even though I've lived here for several months, I still don't know the light situation here yet. But anyway, that's why I don't do live deck profiles very much. But anyway, so yeah, we got 4-4 Malamar. This is just going to be in here so that way you can attach energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. You know, Psychic Recharge, that's what indeed the card does. So yeah, that's what it's going to be doing. And then as for the League Challenge, funny enough, I only had 1 Giratina in the deck. So I had to pretty much make do with that. And I played 4 Necrozma that day and only 1 Giratina because that was the only thing I could think to do. Giratina is really good though. I actually really missed and was sad that I didn't have 2. But yeah, Distortion Door pretty much allows you to pull Giratina straight out of the discard pile and put it onto your bench. That way you can Psychic Recharge to it. But on top of that, you're allowed to put a damage counter on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which is really nice. That could help out with numbers, especially with Spell Tag and such later on in the match. But that's really good there. And then this was funny enough, like, oh, I keep hitting the camera, I apologize guys. Funny enough about this card, so at the League Cup, people were like picking this up as soon as I played it down. I had 3 opponents, I believe, go, I have no idea what that does, can I read it? And I was like, sure. But I really like Necrozma. When I first read it, I was like, okay, this card isn't all that good. After playing around with it a little bit, I actually really enjoy this card. I think it's really good. I honestly just think it's a really solid one-prize attacker. And if you're going to run Recycle Energy or something like that, you might as well throw it in here, which is another card that I really enjoy. But yeah, the Recycle Energy has honestly been something that my friends and I have been pondering around with, just because it's like, if you get 1, you're good, depending on the deck you're facing off against, and I'll kind of get to that here in a little bit. But his first attack on Necrozma is going to be Barrier Attack. It does 30, and then pretty much during your opponent's next turn, Necrozma takes 30 less damage. And then it has Special Laser for 100, and if it has a Special Energy attached to it, it gets to do 60 more damage. Now you're doing 160 on a one-prize attacker, and then whenever it goes down, you just pretty much get the Recycle Energy back to your hand, bring up something that might have like an escape board or is able to retreat or something, Psychic Recharge, play that Special Energy, that Recycle Energy back down onto your Pokemon, promote it, and keep, just kind of keep attacking. So it's pretty nice. Like if you don't get reset stamps or something like that, and you have 2 Malamar in the field, it just pretty much ensures you're going to have 3 energy going into your turn, which is really nice. And then for some text here, we of course have Mimikyu and Espurr, a couple cards that I really enjoy. Mimikyu is like one of my favorite Malamar attackers ever. Copycat is just really nice, and honestly, Copycat is really only useful in the Reshizard matchup. You can make arguments that it's useful in other matchups, but for just that guaranteed KO, if you get a Pokemon knocked out and they did their 230 attack, you put 4 damage counters on their active with the spell tag, and then you promote Mimikyu. And I don't play down Mimikyu until like I'm attacking with it that turn, so that way they don't like custom catcher it if they're playing the greens variation, or like they Ninetales it up or something. You know, you guys get what I mean. Like I don't want them to prepare for it. I don't want them to use their GX attack, so that way, you know, they can get ready or something. So I'll usually play it down, psychic recharge to it, promote it, and then I'll copycat their 230 attack. And then since I place 4 damage counters with spell tag, or just depending on how I do things, I will normally distortion door too, just to get that damage ready. And then I'll copycat their 230, take 3 prizes, and if they return KO me, it's fine, because, you know, I'm only giving up 1 prize. And then pretty much I go from there, and it's kind of like a trade out thing. But yeah, so honestly, like, I like Mimikyu. And then Espurr, to be honest with you guys, is just really nice with Necrozma and Giratina, because you hit them for like 100 to 160 to 130. I kind of did that backwards with the 130 and 160, but that's fine. We're going to keep going. So yeah, so you just pretty much you prayed out Espurr and you ear kinesis, and what that does, it allows you to do 20 damage for each damage counter on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you literally get to snipe something. And so with these Pokemon, they hit for 100, 130, 160. That means you're going to be doing a good amount of damage to where even if they retreat it, you can Espurr and just snipe them. Obviously, Mew is going to be an issue. So if they have Mew out, you know, you're going to have to deal with that. But I have something in here that can actually handle that pretty well. Or honestly, you can spell tag and distortion door the Mew. That's another option. But the next attack we're going to take a look at is going to be Gengar and Mimikyu GX. Now, my buddy and I were talking about it. It was between this or Espeon Deoxys, I think is what it's called. And I actually have a really good story from the League Cup with Espeon Deoxys. You guys are going to see the reaction in the League Cup vlog I have coming up. But Gengar Mimikyu is actually a really solid card. I really like this. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. It's just really handy. But it has Poltergeist for 50. Your opponent reveals their hand, and you do 50 damage times the amount of trainers that they have in their hands. That's supporters, items, stadiums, whatever there is. And then Horror House GX. It does cost a Psychic, but you have 2 Psychics, which is incredibly easy with this deck. Basically, your opponent can't play any cards from their hand during their next turn, and then of course if you do have that additional Psychic on there, both players draw until they have 7 cards in their hand. So that essentially means that your opponent's going to be drawing into more cards, but at the same time, that means that you just have an increased chance of hitting harder with your Horror House GX, which is really nice. And then the next Pokemon that I have in here is going to be Mew. This is pretty much just going to be in here to protect your bench and such. And then we're going to round out the Pokemon with 3 Jirachi. So Jirachi is pretty much in here, obviously, for the Stellar Wish. That means you can just look at the top 5 cards and choose something there that you really like. A supporter card, a stadium card, or an item card. So yeah, pretty nice. Also on top of that, you know, if you haven't got a chance to look through your deck, you get to see what's in your deck. You know, you might see like a couple things or something. Yeah. So getting back to the League Cup, first round I played off against a Reshizard deck. Now this guy was a really good player, and unfortunately I whipped a couple things, so I was not able to take that one. And then come to find out, this is a guy that's got like World's Advice and such, so I didn't feel as bad. And then round 2, I played against my boy Andy, who was playing like this Fossil Box deck. I ended up taking that one. And then round 3, I played off against a Slowpoke Psyduck deck. And it was my buddy that actually helped me out with this deck. And then we played afterwards, and he absolutely clapped my cheeks. I mean, it was horrendous, guys. It was absolutely horrendous. That was a really fun deck. I actually might bug him and pester him about, yo, man, let me take that deck. You tell me what to say, and I will cover this deck in a video. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And then the next round, I played against a deck that made me, like, okay, so this matchup, you guys are going to see it in the vlog, because I briefly recorded it. If you guys are interested, I'll be uploading a vlog later this week. I don't know when, because I have like 3 things I got to upload, and I don't want to like completely flood my channel with vlogs. So I'm going to try to, you know, fit something else in there. But anyway, so I was playing off against Mewbox. Mewbox? I think it's called Mewbox. I don't know. But anyway, I'm playing off against this deck, and like, I mean, like, I'm going to be blunt. I thought I was just smacking this dude around. I thought, like, I was sitting there, like, leaning back in my chair, looking at my friends, because they were doing really well. And I was like, if I play one of these dudes, we're going to ID, we're going to get in. It's going to be top 8. We're good. We're golden. So, yeah, so I held on to my power plant. I let him do stuff because, like, I don't want to play my power plant down. I actually still messed up. Honestly, I still messed this up. Next time I play against this deck, I'm going to hold my power plant down until I absolutely am planning on attacking, and I can one-shot the Mewtwo Mew. But I play down my power plant, he gets rid of it, and I take a knockout. I'm sitting at like 2 prizes. I'm good to go, and like I still had custom catchers, I believe. I still had custom catchers. And I had like a pretty good hand. You know, I was going to try to fish for it in this game. So this dude reset stamps me to 2. I draw Spell Tag and Malamar, and then he he uses his GX attack, copies what is it? He copies Espeon Deoxys, and he had like a ton of energy on this thing. And essentially from there, I went into a blind fury. I got really salty, as the kids say, because he goes, I'm going to put 9 on Malamar, 9 on Malamar, and then 10-10. And I was just kind of baffled, and I just sat there, and then the realization came to my mind that I just lost this game. And I draw a card. Wasn't at all what I needed. If I'd have drew a supporter, I would have been great. But yeah, I was like, okay, if I draw a supporter, maybe I can draw into something here, get my custom catchers. I had a Necrozma out with the special energy and everything ready to go, and I ended up whiffing and losing, and I got so infuriated that I had to go outside for a while and calm down because I was not expecting that. I don't have games like tilt me that hard. You guys have seen like a few times I have, but really that's just for me sitting there and sitting there and sitting there trying to get like footage, and I can't do it. That's really what I'm mad at. But yeah, so that game like honestly tilted me to the point where I had to go outside and just be alone for a minute. Oh, I was mad. And then last round I played off against, I want to say it was a Reshizard with abilities. I'm not sure. It was like a Firebox, I guess. I don't know. I saw all kinds of stuff in that deck. And so, yeah, I ended up taking that, finishing 3-2. And there was a top cut of 8, and I got 10th place. And I was really sad, really disappointed. But at the same time, I feel like this deck did play pretty well. If I had to change anything, I might change out the reset stamp and add in a 4th custom catcher. That would probably be what I would do. But yeah, for the most part, this is your standard, typical run-of-the-mill Malamar deck with some different attackers. Yeah, that is my tournament report. Anyway, getting on to supporters, we have 4 Cynthia, 4 Lillie, 1 Erika's Hospitality. The supporter line I feel like is absolutely perfect. I would not change a thing in that. And Erika's Hospitality is an amazing card. Next up we have 4 Mysterious Treasure, and we have 2 Pokemon Communication. Pokemon Communication is another card that I was thinking about dropping reset stamp for and including. At the same time, like, even though I love Mimikyu, like, if I don't run into a lot of Reshizard matchups, it's just kind of sitting there. So yeah, that's kind of the issue as well. Yeah, so those are like 2 cards that are kind of on my mind as far as like after playing with them and like, you know, just kind of seeing like if I hit a bunch of Reshizard, Mimikyu is really good. If I don't use it. That's like the thing. And next up we have Spell Tag. Spell Tag's really nice. It can just kind of help you hit some, you know, specific numbers. If one of your Psychic Pokemon gets knocked out, you can of course put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. And with this and Distortion Door, you can just really set up some KOs, which is really nice. And next up we have 3 Custom Catcher. I thought I was not going to like Custom Catcher at 3, but it ended up being just fine. I would use it, and then I would use the other one to either pitch for Viridian City, pitch for Mysterious Treasure, or I would use it to draw. At the same time, there was like one instance, I ended up winning the game anyway, but like there was one instance where I wish I'd have had it. Against Mewbox, I honestly might bump this up to 4 just to bring up the Jirachi and get it out of the way. So that's definitely an option there. Next up we have a Skateboard and 2 Switch. These are going to be like your cards that allow you to have a little more flexibility in your game as far as retreating goes. Skateboard. Most of the time you're going to put on Jirachi. I actually had some instances where I had to put it on an Inkay and just like sometimes never evolved it, which kind of sucked. But at the same time, like, you know, it was very helpful. And then Switch is just in there, you know, that way you can switch and then, you know, like Jirachi or something like that if you really need to fetch for something and then retreat it out and kind of continue with your turn. Or if you just really need to get a Pokemon out of the active spot. And then Reset Stamp, everyone knows what this does. It just shuffles your opponent's hand back into their deck and then they draw for how many prizes they have. This card honestly really helped me. But at the same time, like, I'm wondering, like, out of everything I'm looking at in this deck, that might be the card I drop just because like there's some other stuff that I might want. But at the same time, I really like it. So, you know, that's an issue I'm running into. Next up, we have Viridian Forest. Viridian Forest is going to pretty much allow you just to have a counter stadium. And at the same time, it's going to allow you to be able to pitch cards. So you can pitch Psychic Energies, pitch useless cards or something like that. And then search for a Psychic Energy. That way you just have an energy for the turn, which is really nice. And they're going to round out with Power Plant. Power Plant's really good, obviously, for the Mewbox matchup. And then also, even though I feel like this might not happen, but if you absolutely need this for the Keldeo, you know, you can do it. I only have 1 GX in here, obviously, so you're going to probably just go for something else. And then at the same time, if you just Power Plant early on, it can stop your opponent from playing down the Dene and just yeah, just really nice. So this can stop like multiple things, and that's why it's in there. And then we're gonna round out the deck, guys, with 7 Psychic Energy and then 3 Recycle Energy. Recycle Energy is really nice because if you retreat it, it goes back to your hand. If it gets knocked out, it goes back to your hand. And as long as you just have 1, then you're pretty much golden. The 3 is in here just for consistency reasons. But yeah, this is a deck that I played over the last weekend with like a 1-card difference. And that was just because I had to put in a 4th Necrozma because I didn't have a Giratina. But if I did have the Giratina, it would have been a 3-2 split. So yeah, honestly, I love this deck. I'm going to tweak it a little more. It was a lot of fun, and it was really cool just to kind of play Malamar again. Even though like Malamar is being hated on by some of the community, there's still some people that really enjoy it, me included. And just due to some unfortunate circumstances, I didn't get top 8, you know, so who knows what would happen if I got in the top 8. You know, it's just one of those things. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'm going to try to have like a vlog and then another video and a vlog, so that way you guys just aren't getting overwhelmed with vlogs this week. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be trying to do here. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. Take care. I love you. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is Epic Pokemon TCG, signing out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.